Hello, welcome to our Signal Media Executive Interview Series. I'm Kimberly Underwood, Director of Digital News Media at FCA International Signal Magazine. Welcome to our episode today, which is sponsored by REDCOM Laboratories, Inc., entitled C2 Modernization with REDCOM's Adaptable Communications Ecosystem. I'm speaking with John Kelliher, Director of Strategy at REDCOM, to discuss how their solutions address complex operational communication challenges and enable secure and efficient connectivity in mission-critical operations. Nice to see you, John.
Hey, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Can you tell us, as Director of Strategy, a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I figure it out, I'll definitely let you know. But no, I'm extremely fortunate that REDCOM took a chance on me coming out of the military. This is an organization that embodies the quiet professional mentality. And not me, but the people within this building are experts in their craft who have been researching, engineering, manufacturing, and supporting communication solutions in Victor, New York for almost 50 years. We passionately focus on supporting our customers in the quality of our products. And as the director of strategy, I kind of sit between the users, the customer-facing teams, R&D, and engineering to drive the short and long-term development priorities for the product.
All right, nice. And I kind of learned myself, I think everybody knows you all as REDCOM, but that's actually an acronym that stands for Research, Engineering, and Development in Communications. And of course, you have that laboratory setting. So I love the role that R&D plays in your company. And I know you all are kind of, delving into this C2 environment. I know the military branches are looking to aggressively modernize their C2 command and control systems. Like the Army's pursuing their next generation C2 environment. The Air Force is looking at combined JAD C2 as part of their, DAF battle network, for example. But for REDCOM's point of view, can you talk about the role in terms of operational value that REDCOM products can provide to enable warfighters to more effectively execute their mission in such a complex tactical environment?
Yeah, definitely. So when we talk about modernization, we're not necessarily talking about implementing new and groundbreaking technologies. One of the more prominent themes of these modernization efforts, like TACL for the Air Force and NGC2 for the Army, is reducing infrastructure and complexity, because we understand that in a future fight, we need to have a smaller footprint, be more mobile, be more dispersed without sacrificing those mission critical capabilities in order to increase survivability. Basically do more, but with less stuff. Our focus on scalability and interoperability and simplicity is so that we can offer the warfighter the needed level of adaptability to maximize the chance of success at maintaining communications in a heavily denied and degraded environment. In my opinion, communications are the most critical component of command and control. So aside from the network transport and the physical end devices, REDCOM really brings an entire comms ecosystem in a single unified solution that is modular to meet operational requirements across all echelons. So with our Sigma software and our XRI hardware, we essentially provide radio over IP, voice over IP, front-end push-to-talk software console, radio gateway and interoperability, radio control, streaming video, the list kind of goes on. And what this does for the user is it reduces that complexity. It reduces the time spent integrating disparate systems that never quite play as nice as advertised, training on multiple different systems, the number of interfaces that you have to navigate between just to do your job. And this greatly reduces the overall cost of the architecture as well, allowing the warfighter to focus on the mission and not the technology.
Right, sure. And I know your Sigma software that you mentioned, it's been a key platform, for the Army, for example, PEO, C3N, selected Sigma and the call control software as part of their network modernization at the tactical edge. And now you have this Sigma client for ATAK plugin, new acronym that you taught me, Android Tactical Attack Kit plugin. Can you talk a little bit more about that and why you think this is a significant capability?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a huge believer in the value that TAC brings to the battlefield in and of itself. And for anyone who's not familiar, the impact is comparable to going from using printout MapQuest directions to Google Maps on your smartphone. So ATAC users now have map data, mission graphics, intel sources, and so many more capabilities on a small device mounted to their kit. with our Sigma client for ATAC plugin, you now bring voice communications and interoperability directly into that ecosystem from the same device. So whether you're using it to talk to your teammates just between ATAC devices, or from your ATAC to an aircraft on a line of sight radio, or to command over SATCOM, or all the above in a single conversation. And what this can do is continue to reduce the amount of equipment an individual has to carry and maintain, and then add additional options for a PACE plan in a tactical environment.
Right, sure. That voice and interoperability definitely sounds like a powerful capability. Can you talk about kind of where you all are headed for the future? What's REDCOM's focus for future technology developments, and kind of that are geared towards addressing kind of as we move into this, peer conflict, environment, and kind of the challenges that go with that, being, dispersed, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So at a high level, we tend to focus on three primary things, and we're looking at product development, enhancing our existing capabilities based on direct feedback from users, offering reliable and high quality products, and then pushing the needle on adopting new technology for the purpose of having adaptable and intelligent solutions that reduce cognitive burden on the warfighter. So again, they can focus on their job, not the technology. So when you're island hopping in the Pacific, facing an adversary that has sophisticated EW, surface to air, and long range artillery, things like logistics and sustainment become extremely challenging. Communicating, although also very challenging in that environment, shouldn't be complicated. Comms just need to be there. I know who I need to talk to, so I need to be able to just push a button and talk to whoever that is. And I don't care what transport or device I'm using or what devices they have available. Just let me talk to them. So we're looking at a few things, primarily automation in the federation and synchronization between disparate nodes. And by leveraging our daughter company, ZKX Solutions, as the zero trust policy enforcement engine to dynamically and securely determine what data or resources are allowed to be shared across what nodes and with who. And we're also looking at things like, or leveraging AI ML technology, particularly within the troubleshooting environment, so that the system can make corrections as the environment changes and when problems arise with minimal user intervention.
And John, can you tell us about some of your latest releases? I hear you have a new version of Sigma.
Yeah, so Sigma version 4.3.0 just released. This specific version, kind of like what I was describing earlier, was heavily driven by direct feedback from the users. So some of the core capabilities that we added in this version of Sigma software is the ability to have spatial audio. So you can set up to 4 audio channels and monitor them and communicate across them at the same time, and kind of deconflict them spatially in your headset, so that it makes it a little bit more easier for a user to be able to handle that volume of communications at any given time. The other most notable feature is the support for video streaming. So now as a client user, you can pull video feeds, whether that's from an ISR platform or say base defense cameras, or even a body worn camera, directly into your client, and then take it a step further and then distribute that out to your other teammates that are reachable within the Sigma network. And then another small feature that we added was the ability to set visual indicators based on security classification levels, to give that kind of color situational awareness to the user, so that they can kind of deconflict which channels they're talking on and what should be set on each one.
Right. Yeah, those sound amazing. The spatial audio, the video streaming, and the visual indicators. It's definitely you're providing powerful things there. And of course, we're all kind of learning, in the European command, AOR, kind of closely watching, the war in Ukraine. Can you talk about what REDCOM, the capabilities that you're either looking to or advancing that can help, the critical concerns that kind of coming out of that kind of warfare and the evolution, seen from Ukraine?
Yeah, certainly. I'm certainly no expert, but even if you're only half paying attention to what's going on over there, you should understand the significance and how technology has started to fundamentally change the way that we fight, specifically with the evolution of small unmanned aerial systems, and now the increased deployment of fully autonomous SWAS or drone platforms. where the focus now is really on mass with acceptance or even expectation for high rates of attrition. And when it becomes a war of attrition, it's really becoming a war of manufacturing. So it is critically important that we have scalable US based manufacturing to address this. And even as a woman owned small business, REDCOM has the capacity and expertise in manufacturing to make an impact here. So we're definitely excited at the prospect of leveraging our manufacturing capabilities to branch out into the unmanned system arena. Also, ZKX Solutions, who I mentioned earlier, is looking to apply their patented zero trust technology to autonomous unmanned systems, essentially as a mechanism to help mitigate risk in that autonomous environment by ensuring the platform integrity hasn't been compromised. And if it has, relaying that information automatically to leadership so that they can react and make informed decisions.
Right, sure. Yeah, having that kind of attritable manufacturing, that's definitely, I think, something that I haven't seen before at such a scale that's needed. And, kind of been a student of zero trust on that side for many years. So I'm glad to hear, it's pushing onto the battlefield in UAS to protect, those type of systems that are so necessary. Anything else you wanted to highlight?
No, nothing for me.
Yeah, well, thanks, Sean, for walking us through how REDCOM is addressing these complex operational communications challenges. And for our audience, if you want to find more about REDCOM, please visit their website, www.redcom.com. That's REDCOM.com. And also they have a lot of great in-depth videos on YouTube. So check those out. And thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. This was great.
And thank you all for listening to this executive video with REDCOM. Have a good day.